gosh, man, this is just so fun doing this. When you're not doing this as much as you had been, and then you get back into the groove, man, it's like, wow, man, it's like going fishing. Just like throwing that line in, man. It's a lot of fun. So Keith and I love podcasting. We're so glad that you guys are listening to us and hopefully are subscribed to at every level you can subscribe. So we've got a lot more stuff to talk about here, namely Tesla. Tesla hasn't been in the news like a ton for new stuff lately, other than talk of the Cybertruck.
I would say Musk has been more in the news than Tesla.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, especially with the big move to Texas and threatening to leave California, and which, by the way, based on his recent publicity stunt that he pulled the other day, he's committed to staying there. I think that they're going to be doing some next level battery size or something like that.
First of all, let me just take a step back and say, wow, I think we're actually on the same podcast going to do a Rivian segment and a Tesla segment. And we're not even an EV show. But hey, if you don't know what we're talking about and you're watching this on YouTube, we do have a podcast. Head over to our website at partscounterguru.com. Click on the podcast tab near the top left area, I think, as I visualize this.
That's it.
And all your favorite podcast platforms are there. Just pick the one you like the most, and it'll have a link to our show. So, Musk tends to say a lot of things. Sometimes I feel like it's almost like what you were talking about with Bill Shatner, where right. He kind of some of this is entertainment, right? Like he just sort of wants to see. He's speculating in real time. He made a comment about that the Securities Exchange Commission got into him about over stock and public shares and
right.
And some of this is like I think we'll probably make batteries here. So but he did say, he said they're committed to making the Cybertruck at the Giga Texas facility, right?
Right, which is fitting. It's fitting. Yeah. It's Texas, man.
Yeah, big truck, Texas.
Don't mess with Texas.
And so
don't mess with Texas.
Kind of the concern.
Don't mess with Tesla now.
That there's your next bumper sticker, right? Your Texas window.
No, I want a belt buckle that says, I want a belt buckle with a big don't mess with Tesla. Yeah. With a big star and T in the middle. It could. But the T is going to be shaped like the Tesla emblem.
Yeah, there you go. So, what I think the big concern here is why we haven't heard much progress lately. Now, he's saying it's mostly supply chain issues, right?
It is. I think so. And then he's got the move to Texas. He's had a lot of things going on around him to kind of, pull into order, if you will, and make some things come to fruition. Because he's working on, like we said, they want to bring the larger format battery cells, which is going from the it's going to the 4680. 4680 cells, which is double the size of the current ones.
Jay and I have told you that we do not think this current generation of EV platforms, regardless of the manufacturer, is kind of where it's at. This is a transition stage.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out the next step, because this battery technology that we currently have in place has a lot of limitations. The volatility is a factor. Just these lithium cells, man, they're just not stable enough for a long-term solution. So it makes sense here that some of this is, we're trying to basically improve our power technology before we roll this truck out, and they probably are on the cusp of being able to do that soon, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think so. But you were asking, why he might be, Elon might be looking, why we haven't heard much chatter on the Cybertruck. We've got this whole commercial vehicle thing that he's working on too, which is going to require these larger batteries to make these things work. And that's why I think he was trying to commit that move to Texas, focus on the truck there and a couple of other things there. And so he is saying on this that they want to build the 4680 format cells beginning in 2023, I think he said. Other companies are investing as well. But here was an interesting thing. I think it said LG Chem was reportedly looking to build the same style batteries, possibly at a U.S. factory. But Panasonic, who is actually the current supplier of those batteries to Tesla, is not really on board with it. Their CEO Yasuaki Takamoto said bigger cells would be harder to produce and more prone to overheating. And having said that, God knows Tesla does not need any more issues with batteries catching on fire, man, or overheating. And so that still remains to be seen. Now, this is not the very reason we're talking about Tesla today. I like the truck. I think the truck is pretty cool.
Yeah, there's no question when that truck rolled out, it was like, what? And then we saw the quad in the back and the ATV, and we all went, wait,
right.
What?
Now, here's what's
right.
Now, here's what's interesting. Here's what's very interesting to me is we just recently we had a podcast and we put a video out on Kit, Knight Rider, possibly coming back next year in a new series, and we were asking everybody, what do you think it would be? Would it be an EV? I was actually surprised to some degree at how many people loved that Trans Am.
By and large,
and how
the
it
comments
was
that we received were heavily trended toward don't mess with changing it. It needs to be a GM
don't
product.
Mess with Kit.
Yep.
Right. Absolutely. And Michael needs to be Michael. We want him in the series. So I think that's truth. That is an audience. So that's like Star Trek versus Star Trek Next Generation and so on and so forth. I think it's the same thing. It might work for this crowd, but the old faithful, it's not going to happen. But anyway, as part of that segment, I said the Cybertruck might be a cool kit, right? Because it was equipped with the quad, ways to get out and get around without, and then with the quad, you could bring the truck back to you because it has autopilot and stuff. And, you could actually go out on a venture in this quad and go away and the truck could go hide itself. And then, you could kind of come back and boom, you're back in the back end. Anyway, that's my fantasy of the Cybertruck. But Elon says he's committed to making that quad along with that Cybertruck, which I thought was neat.
This is going to go right along the lines of what we were saying. Sometimes he's you like to call it live polling in the automotive industry. His pontifications that happen in real time here, where he's kind of claiming, hey, this thing's not going to roll because it'll have a low center of gravity because of the battery. When he says roll, he means
right.
I'm an avid woods off-road rider. I tend to ride two-wheel stuff, but I've done some sport quads and whatnot. And those things are heavy. And when they roll over on you, it's usually a serious injury because of the weight of the vehicle itself. So...
or just terrible design, like the three-wheeler they had out. That was just bad design. That was somebody just not using their brains, man.
So...
Which unfortunately hurt a lot of people.
Kids in the and I say neighborhood, grew up in the country that died on those things. So,
that's what I'm saying. I know.
So, but I don't think you can promise this. First of all, a lot of the quads, especially the racing quads that are out now, they already have a low CG. With that engine placement and how they position it.
Yeah.
I know these batteries are going to be heavy. I don't know that they're going to be heavier than one of those engines would be, especially with a fuel tank in it.
Yeah.
So kind of coming out here and declaring that it won't roll, This is kind of one of those bulletproof glass situations that may end up making you look bad, you know. And he's a brilliant guy. I just think he's thinking out loud.
Yeah.
You can imagine the engineering crew behind him going, "Oh crap! Now we got to figure this out, right?"
Come on, dude. Don't say that. Right. I mean, that's kind of like. Oh, never mind. Anyway, it's like just injecting cleaner into the. Anyway, yeah, I think this is. It's cool, but you're right. Him to come out and boldly say that we're going to build it where it won't roll. That's just I don't see how you can do that. You'd have to make that thing so wide. It would have to have such a wide stance and such a low center of gravity. It just ain't going to happen, man. You're going to roll it, but Elon, don't focus on building an ATV that you don't want to roll. Let's just leave that up to the other people, man. Make the Cybertruck and a quad that goes with it that kind of resembles the design elements of every other quad out there. Just make it useful.
Here's a question for our viewers: if you had the option to get a Cybertruck, and they maybe had to delay the release of that four-wheeler, that quad, which I think is probably going to happen anyway. They're going to have to focus on getting the truck out, right? And maybe they did a voucher, or they did something kind of like what Tesla did with their self-driving, where they built the features in, but it is to be released at a later date. They can build the charging capability into the truck now to charge that quad. Maybe if you had. So here's my question: if you had the option to get the Cybertruck to sooner, let's say up to a year sooner, or you wait until the quad comes out. And then that means you have to wait for the Cybertruck as well, and they both come out together again, maybe a year later. Than if you could just get the the truck on its own. Which would you prefer?
Yeah, so you guys, you can leave comments on that, but I will tell you my preference on that. I want the truck. I can go buy an ATV somewhere. I don't have to have the quad as part of the package. I'm more interested in this vehicle. In itself, that's just that's like adding a bead locker rims on it or something. To me, it's just an accessory to what you already have. So I want the truck, and then I want my voucher to come get my quad whenever you finish designing the thing. So.
This could almost be an Apple style move where they just partner with another company to build the quad. Let them build the quad.
Why not?
You can't tell me that Yamaha, Honda...
What the quad, man? What the quad? What are you thinking?
Suzuki, Kawasaki have not been playing around with electric versions of their products already?
Right. There's... Yeah, trust me. I mean, you might talk to Harley. Harley's got a nice electric bike there called... What is it called? Wired? Bite My Wired or something?
Livewire. Bite My Wire.
Livewire.
Now we're turning into a Doors. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, speaking of, wow. Elon, just make the damn truck, okay? Just there we go.